Trice. This summer, I am a collegiate leader environmental health intern. I was working in the Office of Environmental Health Emergencies under the direction of Molly Mahaney and Dr. Mark Kine. My project was to develop a curriculum for one of the courses in the Emergency Health Management Associate's degree at the Palo Community College. The class that I was doing was Emergency Health Planning and Exercises. After I leave here, I'm going to go back to Florida State, finish up my bachelor's degree in December in social science, and start my master's degree in public administration in January. So, I recently was talking to a few of my friends. We're all getting ready to go back to Tallahassee. We're all kind of excited. And a bunch of us had internships this summer. And after listening to what they did and what I did, most of them said something to the effect of, I didn't really like mine, yours was so much better. So, that's how I came up with why my internship was better than yours, and I wanted to tell you guys what I did, what I learned, what I'll miss, and what I won't. So for those of you who don't know where Palau is, it's just north of Papua New Guinea, which is just north of Australia, for those of you who don't know where Papua New Guinea is. And I'm going to just let you guys know, this is what I'm going to go through. I'm going to do what I did that was work-related in the office, what I did that was CLE-related, personal stuff that was kind of outside the office, and then I'll touch a little bit about what I learned, what I'll miss, and what I won't. So what I did. At work, I did a lot of formatting, editing, and reviewing. I went through the course content, made sure that it all made sense, made sure that it worked with the objectives. The objectives were actually covered, and that what was covered was actually an objective. And I went through all the PowerPoints, and we had to make sure that all of the bullets were the same, all of the pictures and their borders were the same, and all of the fonts were the same. And I can rattle off the exact markings of what the bullets need to be, what the picture borders need to be, and what all the fonts need to be. I also worked on creating 4 quizzes, a midterm, a final, the answer keys for all of them for the teachers, and the reviews for the students that go based off of their objectives so that they can get ready for these quizzes. And lastly, I compiled and made a few resources to put in the student workbook and teacher handbook. Once Molly gets back, she's going to put everything to print. This is the first course, so this is the student workbook for the first course in the series. So all of what I've done will turn into a book very similar to this within the next month or 2. Fortunately, I can't hold mine. On top of all of that, I also attended weekly staff meetings with the office, as well as going to a bunch of different employee one-on-ones to learn all about my main focus, which is emergency management. So I was able to speak with quite a few people on a bunch of different aspects of that, which was really awesome. Lastly, me and the other 2 interns in my office, the other 2 interns and I, worked on an extra project for Dr. Mark Kine. He's working on a literature review, so each of us were given some key terms to do a search and compile into different EndNote databases, and I was given 3 of them. On top of all of that, the CLE program does some wonderful programming. Every week we have a theme, and with that, each Monday we go to a journal club where we read and discuss academic journals. On Wednesdays, we had presenters come in and present on what they're doing that deals with that topic. And we also went to training such as public health law and EDIR, and we did a presentation training to teach us how to give presentations. We went to different agencies in different areas around Atlanta. The one that's pictured is the Atlanta Development Authority. And we were also told to give a 20-minute presentation, and that's a picture of me doing so. However, this summer was not all work and no play. The interns had a lot of fun on our nights and weekends. We went and visited a lot of Atlanta attractions, such as CNN and the Olympic Centennial Park. We went hiking a lot. That waterfall is a picture of when I went hiking in Fort Payne, Alabama, to Little Rock Creek Canyon. We also went whitewater rafting in Tennessee and camping in the Blue Ridge Mountains. We went to a Braves game and a Falcons game, and we did a lot of eating. We did a lot of different ethnic foods, stuff like that, and I also managed to bring in and break out some new recipes of my own. So what I learned. I learned a lot about the organization of federal government, how it can help and hinder sometimes. I learned that disaster risk reduction is much different than just mitigation as a whole. I learned the O2C3 model for disaster planning. I know some of this doesn't make sense to everybody, but I was really excited to learn about it. I I learned a lot of the different aspects of emergency management, such as planning, logistics, operations, strategic national stockpile, mass care. I learned a lot about the importance of the built environment, as we've learned a lot about today. I learned how air quality is tested, how many products Coca-Cola has, the number of countries that it's in, and what it's doing to help, as well as urban and community gardens and how they work. I learned some life lessons as well, such as to ask. That piece of advice was given to me time and time again. You don't ask, you're never worse off than if you had asked them and said no. So I also learned why my mom comes home every day, changes into her pajamas, and goes directly to bed before dinner is even ready. It's exhausting to sit behind that desk all day. I learned that I don't want to live in a big city. Living near one so I can use the personal conveniences would be really nice, but I'd like to live far enough away from the hustle and bustle of it all. I now know the value of a break and why your lunch should be a lunch break. And CDC taught me to be afraid of everything. If you don't get E. coli from your raw vegetables, you'll get cryptosporidium from washing them off, so take your pick. But mostly I learned something new every day. There's a lot of things that I am going to miss when I leave. One is having my own workspace. I don't have that at my job back in Tallahassee. Or a daily routine. Every single day is completely different. It's very hard to plan. I'll miss having a washer and dryer in my living room, back to laundromats. I'm going to miss impromptu dance parties to Cotton Eye Joe, 10 o'clock at night. I will miss the convenience of the farmer's market. It's very hard to quickly go to one in Tallahassee. I have to drive to it. It's not convenient. I'm going to miss living close to NFL and Major League Baseball. I didn't really know that I liked them as much, thanks Kara, but now I'm far away from them, so that'll be a little harder. And mostly I'm going to miss a lot of the people that I've met, especially my supervisor, Molly, and anybody who made any of these events possible. But the grass isn't always greener on the Atlanta side of the fence, and there's a bunch of things that I'm happy to say good riddance to as I drive off. All of the security on this campus. I had to get here at least 10 minutes early, I'm sure you all know, in order to get to your offices on time. Waking up early, I'm a night owl. I have a night job in Tallahassee. I don't like my alarm going off at 5 a.m. Going in circles in the garages, upwards of 4 times a day, if not more sometimes. Wearing business casual every day. This is an outfit I bought here because I didn't have enough because I got sick of the clothes I was wearing. I really want my shorts and tank tops back. And lastly, having to remember this. That Post-it note was posted at eye level in my cube door so that every time I walked out, I would see it and check. And I consistently do this to make sure it's there. So the other thing I did this summer was I kept a blog. And if you guys are in any way interested in reading more about what I did, what I learned, what I'll miss and what I won't, that will be the title of my last blog post that will probably be posted on Sunday. And I'm going to leave you with my favorite quote from Mark Twain, which is 20 years from now, you'll be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did. And that's exactly why I did this internship. And the information that I've learned here is more valuable than anything else.